You've done this before, haven't you? He's better than me. Right, you're putting me out of a job. Right guys, so we've now finished this. I've done my foam filling and this is now ready to receive paint. It is a lovely finish. You can hopefully see in the light what a nice finish it is. It's really soft sort of texture to it, not harsh like render is, so once this is painted it's going to look absolutely amazing. One thing to bear in mind with this is that it should not be painted with polyurethane paints or solvent-based epoxy paints. Anything apart from that can be used. If in doubt, get in touch with Toupret Technical and they'll be more than happy to help you out and make sure that the paint you're using to go on top of this is right. Right, so what we're going to be doing with this before we paint it is we're going to be putting in a thing called Ashlar lines. So you may or may not know what these are. Basically, they are lines which symbolise block work. You've probably seen them on a lot of properties and haven't even realised it, but they're effectively just marks which are scratched into the top coat. Normally with render, they're done when the render is wet, but in this case, with this stuff, what we're going to do is scratch them in now after it's been finished. So we're literally going to mark our lines on, get them cut in, and then it is ready for our painter to carry on and do what he needs to do. Right, let's get this marked out and show you how we're going to do it. So the whole point of these, as I mentioned, is to make it look like they're actual blocks and the house was built in this way. So the first one we're going to do is the top one, which is going to be effectively the lintel, which is going to hold the head of the window. So I'm just going to literally take a little mark from here, measure that, so that is 265, and I'm going to transfer that over to this side. Normally, obviously, if we haven't got a mould in here, I'll just take a mark straight across and run that over. So that would be an easier way of doing it, but unfortunately, obviously, I've got this moulding in the way, so I'm just going to do that. In this instance, unfortunately, not everything is level. On a new build, you would like to think that everything would be nice and level, but this house is like 160 years old, so nothing is level, surprisingly enough. So rather than making everything level, putting level lines on, we're going to actually go with the features of the property that we've got to try and make it look right, because if we start putting level lines in, I can already see from this point here that this window here is higher than that window there. So that's going to cause us a problem. If we put a level line round, we're going to end up here somewhere on this window, which is obviously going to look crap and not going to work. So I've put my 2 reference points on here. I'm now going to put some more lines using a bit of a stick. I'm now going to put a bit of a reference point on here to see where I am with this one. So I can see now there's about a 10mm difference from this point to this point in height-wise, from that window to that window. So what I'm going to have to do is just slightly try and ease these a little bit, just so they're somewhere near where I want them to be. So if I reduce that down slightly, like so, put a mark on there and a mark on there, out, hit my head on the scaffold, and then do the same here, like that. Like that. So you can see now that I've created a line. This line represents the line that I'm going to cut out. It doesn't look too bad. It's always worth just taking a step back and seeing to see just how out of line it looks, which this isn't awful, so I'm happy with that. It is always a bit of a balancing act, because obviously you want to put things in level, but you literally just can't. You've got to make it try and look as best you can, and that's how I'm going to do it on this one. Now, the best way to do the rest of them, obviously we've been governed this top one by what will be the lintel. Now what I'm going to do is take a measurement from there down to here, to this point here, and then I'm going to divide that by probably going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 by 5 blocks. Try it out, see how it looks. Obviously, before you put this stuff on, you can see over here where the Ashlar lines originally were. You can take a rough sort of measurement from that. These ones, unfortunately, are all over the place. There's no consistency with them, and I'd like a little bit of consistency. So I'm just going to count. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's actually 6 blocks on there. So I'll try that and see how that works out. The wind picks up just as you want to do that. Right, so we've got 1875 there. So 1875 divided by 6 equals 312.5. So we can go, get our bit of stick here, and we're going to mark 312.5 on the stick. 312.5, which is there. Square that line across. So we know there we've got a consistent mark here. So what we can do is drop this down. If at this point now you want to make it level, you can, but obviously I'd recommend that you just work it down and slowly eke them out, because if you all of a sudden go from a slightly angled line to a level line, you're going to see it a lot. So I can see from this that it is slightly coming downhill. So what I'm going to do is just bring this edge down a little bit here, literally let them coming a couple of mil down, put that on there, a mark round here at the right height, which will come to there at the right height. And then all I'm going to do is simply join these lines up. Like so, and there we go. So that is basically a block. Nice and easy, hey? Right, all I'm going to do now is just repeat that all the way down, and then we'll look at doing the extra little details which needs to go in. Right then, so we've got all our lines on. I'm just doing the last one now. Get that round to there. So there we go, we've now got equal blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal blocks up the wall, so it all looks nice and uniform, unlike the original ones, which we're probably doing on a Friday afternoon because they're all over the place. Next up, like I mentioned, we want to make this look like actual blocks, like it's actually built like this. So a whole block wouldn't just come round the corner like that, you would have an edge of a block on show. So what we're going to do here is we're going to measure out on our magic stick. In this case, we're going to do 120 mil. That just gives us a nice good chunk there, which looks quite realistic. Well, it looks very realistic to be fair. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with one on the edge. So we're going to allow for 120 mil of lintel on here. So we will do that. And then we're going to end up with 120 mil here. Like so. And all you want to do is just alternate them as you're coming down like this, as you would have, or as would happen if it was actually built out of block. It's always better just to use a bit of stick like this, because you've then got a guaranteed measurement every time. You haven't got to mess around, keep getting your tape measure out every time. It's just easier, you've got a good point of reference, just like so. Right, and then what I'm gonna do, I know obviously I said before about keeping these lines level, just making it look right. I'm actually going to use a level on these ones because this will look right. I know that our moulding is pretty good. That's just going to be the main visual point of reference, so I'm happy just to put these in now as a nice plumb line, like so. And then just run that down there. And then same on this side as well. So we've got a little bit there to make it look like our lintel, and then we're just going to stagger these down to make it look like the ends of these blocks. Right, now you've got a nice visual representation of how the blocks are going to look. You can now just do a little final check, just step back, have a look. If there are any issues that you can see, or you're not really that happy about how it is, just get a bit of sandpaper or rubber, rub your pencil lines out, and then you can start again, remark as you please. If you do start cutting them out and then you think, actually I don't like it, you can literally just go straight back over it with some more of this filler and sand it back just the same as you have done with any fine filling, and then just start again. It's not an issue. If you're doing this with render, like I mentioned, you would need to do this when it was wet, and if there was any issues with the Ashlar lines, trying to patch those in is going to be an absolute nightmare. So this product is actually amazing for doing this, so really happy with it. Right, take a look at that, see what you think. I'm going to get ready for getting the lines cut in. Right, So what we're going to do is use this, a multi-tool, and I'm going to use a metal cutting blade. The only reason I'm using the metal cutting blade, obviously I'm not cutting metal, but it's slightly thicker than a normal wood bit, and this gives me an ideal gap to cut when I'm cutting these. Also, the reason that I'm using a multi-tool is we've tried using lots of different things, including an angle grinder, just cutting it. This actually gives us a nice depth of line and a nice thickness of line, and it gives us lots of control, and also it minimises the amount of dust that it kicks out. So this is the ideal tool for doing this. It may not be everybody's preferred way, but this is the way that I've found really works really well. It's nice and easy to control. If you use an angle grinder, it's very vicious, and if you do wave slightly, it can take a lot of material out, which obviously you don't want to do. As I mentioned before, if you do mess it up a little bit, you can just fine fit it and go back, sand it and redo it. It doesn't matter. That is the beauty of this product. Let's start cutting. Right, so as you've seen, nice and easy to cut out. We've got some decent lines, nice and straight. Now what I'm going to do is get a bit of sandpaper, chamfer these off, and then you can see what it looks like. So I'm just going to get my sandpaper in the line that we've made, and I'm just going to run it across like that. And I'm going to just create a bit of a chamfer on this, because what you want to do is make sure that you're creating a bit of a drip for any water, which will inevitably gather up when it rains, especially in sunny old England. Just make sure you keep it nice and tight and folded like that, and then you can literally just fit it straight in that groove, he says as he comes out of the groove. And there you go, it's as easy as that. You can see now I've got some lovely straight lines in here. There's a very slight chamfer on the edges, so any water that does get in there is just going to run straight out. And that's it. All you got to do is repeat that process, depending on the size of the area, probably a few hundred times, and then that's it. You get a nice result just like that, ready to receive paint. Once it's all painted, it will look absolutely epic. Right, so that's it. You've seen, nice and easy, bit of sandpaper folded over, just slightly widens them and also puts a nice little chamfer on, so any rain that does hit it will just fall straight out, because obviously you don't want any water gathering in these joints. It is really straightforward. If you do mess it up, like I mentioned, just fill it in, sand it and redo it. It's that easy. Right, all we've got to do now is do this about another 500 to 1,000 times. Great. And then once we've done that, we can then get it painted. Right, so you can see now I've got all my lines penciled on, so this is what it's going to look like. They're all done nicely. Managed to work everything out so it all runs through. They're not perfectly level, as I mentioned before, but they do run through nice and they do look right. So obviously, because you've got different height windows, it's a bit of a nightmare, but it's worked. Right then guys, so you can see, or you've just seen from the time lapse, that we've got all these lines nicely cut in. So you can see the effect now that we've gone for. So it literally makes it look as if this building was built from blocks, which, I mean, it's built from bricks, but you know what I'm saying. It looks like it's been built with big blocks all over it. So I use the multi-tool and then just cut out a groove, and then I just use this, which is basically a scraper with a bit of sandpaper on it, and just run that through the groove like that. And then all that does is just puts a nice sort of depth to it, and also just slightly chamfers the edges, so it helps any water just track out, and it just looks better, cleaner like that, rather than just running the blade down and leaving it. Right, so from our point of view now, this is completed. We just got to hand this over to the decorator. We've got a window cleaner coming imminently. He should be here very soon, so he's going to get all the windows fully cleaned off. Once they're cleaned off, then the decorator can tape around, get these windows fully protected, ready for his paint to go on, and then that's it. So what's going to happen is they're going to paint from the top all the way up there, right the way down to this lift here, and then once this is all decorated, we can then get all this scaffold struck, get this all down out of the way, and then get on with down there, basically. Yeah, looking good, impressed. Let's crack on.